and tidy edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hello, happy Saturday, Saturday, as Ray calls it. How's it going? Did you guys have a good week? Yeah, Eliza, wasn't yesterday your surgery day? I hope it went well. Hi, Shem. Hey, Aisha, Monica, Margaret, how's it going? Welcome. I love it when I'm really excited about a garment. I think it's always the ones that I'm like, this is a little out of my comfort zone. And then you realize, I love this. I'm growing. Oops. Oh, that's right. I need to finish here. I, of course, was changing my thread and then decided to, you know, organize my whole bobbin thing. So forgot to finish doing this. 1 week ago yesterday. Oh, that's amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome. When my husband had his hip replaced, he was walking on it the next day. And for him, it was the same thing. He's like, this is the first time I haven't been on medications to help him walk. And it was just incredible. Hey, Rachel, how's it going? All right, so we have a collar today. It still has some point. Okay, I didn't remove it all. Look at that. Our little jacket looking really good. The flat felled seams are just perfect for something like this. You know, the flannel, it's so grabby. Some green fuzz here. And we're going to put the facing on and the zipper. So we got some good steps left. Probably could have finished it the other day. I did figure out a way, another way to sew this. It's just like not worth it, in my opinion. I mean, I think like it could be more that it's a fun way to do something different, but I don't think it makes the sewing easier or more efficient, you know? So we're just gonna follow the directions, which I think is always a good plan because it might help somebody out there. So I'm gonna start with the collar today. Yeah, we're thinking of you, Eliza. It's funny because I thought it was last Friday, but then when I saw you, I think I saw you in like a workshop and I was like, maybe it wasn't. And I don't know, I don't want to be personal. I was glad Shem asked. Thanks, Shem. All right, so we're gonna put this right sides together. And the only change I made here was that I made my under collar, the uninterfaced one, a true under collar, which means I just like, you can even kind of maybe see, you see right here how it's shaved away right there? And then along this bottom edge, if I line up the neckline here, you can kind of see the difference there. You don't have to do that, but I think especially on collars like this where there's no stand, it's got a roll, convertible collar. It will pull that under collar under nicer, you know, it'll give you a nicer finish. So you don't have to do that. I was really skint on fabric too. So you're going to see my plaids are a little different. They're even different directions from one another. Maybe we won't notice. So isn't that bonkers? Exactly. Okay. This is 3/8 inch seams. All right. I had to tell myself, what's my stitch length at? Let's do that. I finished a pair of pants yesterday for myself. And I did those Sequoia cargo pants again. Those are, I don't know, it just became the pant like I want to wear all the time, and I wasn't wearing them for gardening anymore. And I felt guilty about it, and I was like, Saremy. That's usually me, Shem. I have learned in the last like 10 years to not do that. I am a blurter. I look back and I'm like, I can see where I probably was super annoying to people, and how my friends probably were like, oh God, don't bring Saremy, you know, because I'm a blurter. I will just say things, and I fully do not mean it in any intentional way of like being inappropriate or, you know, prying. It's more that because I care. I want to know. And then I realize they may not want to even talk about this. So I showed in the cutting video exactly how I do it, Amy, but you can kind of even just see it on here. So like between these 2 points, it's like 50-50 whether people do this short edge here. I did because it's pretty long, and you can kind of see that it's like the shape of an arc. So at the fullest amount here, it's 1/8 of an inch. And it's the same along the perimeter, the long perimeter, or outer edge, I should say, not perimeter, but outer edge. It's 1/8 of an inch along most of this long edge, and then it tapers to nothing at the point. And, you know, you got a little bit like kind of yoink it towards this edge. You can see it doesn't really want to line up, you know. Just ignore my interfacing not lining up. And just make it line up, because it's going to pull this edge up. You can see it kind of rising right here. See that? We can pull the camera down a little lower. And see, like, it's pulling away here. But when I get to this point, I'm going to start lining this edge up here and then pivoting like that. And then same thing here. Pull that over. Just like that. And now you can see that the 1/8 of an inch is on this edge, but when we line up this, when we iron it, it's gonna pull. You can kind of see it pulling. See how it's blumping? So. Hey Terry, how's it going? You're so excited. You have a sleeve for your coat. Nice. Nice. I'm really glad, Jim. That's awesome. We love a good fitting sleeve around here. You're a blurter, but yes, I interrupt. That's another thing. It's such an annoying habit. Oh my God. I was listening to an interview the other day, and the interviewer kept interrupting the person, and I just wanted to reach through and just strangle them, you know, like I just couldn't believe. And the thing was, it was on a sewing thing, and I didn't want to comment because I'm like, well, you know, but it was driving me nuts. Oh yes, gifts, exactly. Yep, me too. You know what I've learned is that this one I won't trim as much. When I do these, like when I turn the points out, I usually put my thumb in there. I usually have a good thumbnail like this one, but right now it's not as good. And I push this down, push one of these down. And in this case, I don't know, it doesn't really matter which way you push it. And then I pull it. You know what I've learned to do, Shim, is I now have a dedicated hiding spot. and I immediately put something in there, in the gift in there, because it's true. And especially if they start talking like, you know what I really want? And then they mention, you're like, I already got that for you. Yeah, it's hard. I've learned too, because my husband is incredible at surprises. He will let me ramble on about something and he's already bought it. So, right, Terry, exactly. I think we all do, you know? At least we all know the other person doesn't mean it, right? Oh, Hannah, that's so funny. Love that. 6, he was playing the long proposal game. Dang. Hey, Libby, how's it going? It's getting a little cloudy here. Is it still beautiful there? Libby and I live about an hour and a half apart. Let's go over to the iron. I'm going to have to visit you someday, Libby. You don't have to give it to me. You should tell me. Yeah, that's exactly it, right? I can't see the chat. Let me just turn the monitor a little bit. All right. And, you know, it's honestly better to iron it a little bit before you turn the point, because then you can do, you know, you can kind of put the iron in there and push it. I'm kind of stuck now. I've already turned to my point. All right, so let's line this up. But no, let's actually iron this edge. This will make it really nice. Iron is nice and flat. Your seam allowance is going to want to press to the under collar, and that's totally fine. Just let it press to one side, and it'll lay. So when we do this part right here, like when you go to line up this edge, this right here will be nice and smooth. It's kind of probably hard to see on the camera, but it really does make a big impact. I'm going to start right here, and then I'm going to fuss with this area here. We're looking at the top collar right now. Wait, when we're looking at the under collar, my bad. I'm not getting very much showing of the top collar right here, and that's okay. It's a really short distance as long as it's not going the other way, right? All right. This point looks a little like, let's shape it a little bit there. I don't want to stretch it out. Okay, keep this edge all lined up. So, oh, Terry, when's the next time I'm going to see you in a workshop? I got to show you my husband, I told you, let's see, can I show you this? Remember how I told you my husband got me a little solution for my iron? Okay, look right here. Oh, so he got me one of these little, see how that's this little thing? You would clip this to your belt and you put your card keys here to chain. So we just did this, and it's actually working, because now when I pull my iron, this doesn't get hung up on everything. And this was just a few dollars, so it's working for now. I'm barely tall enough to reach this. Tippy toe gang, and I've got like wooden clogs on, you know. Okay. Yeah, like I'm not sure what would be a good solution for that, because like for the camera work, it would be really nice if my ironing board was half its size, but I still got the point, right? And that's just like, those don't really exist. And I'm liking using the ironing board because I have the iron rest now, which solved that other issue. But I can't show the whole ironing board on camera. But it'd be nice to still use the ironing board, and that's why I got the original length water tube, so that I could use it all, but then it was just like getting hung up. So, okay, I'm going to look back on chat a little bit here. Exactly, I was supposed to say your house, exactly. 2 solid toasty days. Can't wait to see that coat. That's funny. They're so sneaky. Oh, you're gonna, yes, we're going to the Alexander McQueen exhibit. Thank you for reminding me. Just keep reminding me. You can't keep your nose out of conversations. Oh, man. That's so funny. Maybe we should see if there's others in the region. We can make it like a little group thing. Hi, Lindsay. Good morning. Hi, Marilyn. How's it going? All right, I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna stay stitch this edge right here since I am looking at chat so much. Probably would have been better if I gone from the center out to the point or to the edge there and then repeat for the other side. Oh yeah, clappers are kind of cool. I have a little sleeve salami. Maybe it's a good thing to go from the outer edge to the center, actually. Because then that way you don't let it blump over here, you know. So there you can see my little edge there. I think I probably should have understitched this. I just sewed this as if I was sewing a button down, and normally I would top stitch around the perimeter. So this is one question I have. Like, how much top stitching do we want on this jacket? So to finish this waistband here, no top stitching is visible the way you sew it in the instructions, which I love that look. It's kind of nice and clean. We're gonna see we have all the top stitching on the flat felled seams, so there is that. Like, I do have a lot going on here, right? We have all these seams here, so there's this one, and this one really close together. There's a lot going on, so it is not devoid of top stitching, right? We're gonna have it along the center front zipper. Maybe putting it on the collar, we'd have it on the collar and then the center front. And maybe I would want it on the band just to tie in with that. What do you guys think? Skip it on the collar or put it on? Let's check it out. Do I have it on live chat? Okay, let's make a date. Okay. We missed what Rachel said when Monica said same here. Oh, you can't resist giving me my birthday and Christmas gifts the same day. That's really funny. Myland hoodie, cool. We can line the hood part. I'm sure you can. Yeah, me too, Julie. I think I like them even more because of the flat felled seams. Like, I like that architectural thing. Are we doing like a double row then? God, it's gonna have a whole different look. No top stitching. No top stitching or top stitching. What do we think? Where's the zipper at? It's got this kind of antique brass look. So there's going to be a stitching line here. I mean, I could just leave it there and here. I kind of like that idea. You know, a little bit like 50-50. We have top stitching here, none here, none here. Pull time, yes, top stitching. It's my jacket. No, I'm just teasing. Let's see, there's a pull here. We'll do a pull. Can I change the words here? Oh, I can. Okay. I'm putting a poll in the chat. Do you see it there in the chat? I know. I feel like the top stitching people are going to overwhelm. Nancy, I got my ruler. Yes, it's my jacket. I got the ruler. We unboxed it on Thursday, and I didn't see your note in there until I went to recycle the box, and then it popped out from under the flap at the bottom. Your note was really sweet. Thanks. I appreciate it. Dang. Come on, everybody, vote. Right? That's exactly Libby's. Yeah, Libby and I are in that behind the scenes groove right now. Yeah, like that clean, that little clean look. Clean here, clean here. We do a stitch in the ditch here. A testo for sure. Oh, nice, Rachel. You get to do a lot of testo. That's pretty cool. All right, I'll give you guys like 1 more minute to vote. It's 24 inches. It's really huge. I was like, I wonder if I could put this in half, because I just took one of my other rulers and I scored it with a rotary knife blade on both sides and then snapped it in half. It'll still be great though, because you know, when I'm doing really long stretches, I only have a 36-inch ruler and I'm usually using a rotary knife for that. So it's probably a good thing to have the 24. All right. I don't know if it's been a minute. My clock says it's been a minute, but it's only because the time changed. Not a full minute. Let's see what we got here. They were rationing thread. That's true. I am not short on thread. I love that I'm like, I'm still not going to top stitch it. I am really torn on it. I don't think I want to. I'm not going to. That's the first time I haven't listened to you guys, right? Only 26 people voted. Let's see. Out of 37, that's actually pretty good odds. I think that's a 37. Wait. There. This is where I need to go. All right, let's put the collar on. We have a facing too, so I could do this all in one step, which is kind of nice sometimes because you won't have any stay stitching lines showing. Let's put, so this is the piece I pieced together. Remember, I didn't have enough for the facing. That's how close I am, but it is very nice and low profile. I don't know why I'm so bad at ironing on interfacing, you guys. I just am. Thanks, Debbie. Diane, that's awesome. I love it. You're making the exact same thing. I love this. We're gonna be twins. We have to post pictures. Are you planning a whole outfit around yours, Diane? You know, like for me, it was the high-waisted pants that inspired making this. Were you in the same boat? Okay. I have different interfacings on these too. I'm just going to iron this really quick. Get it nice and flat. I haven't decided how to finish this outer edge of the facing. Maybe we should bind it. I think we should bind it. I think that would look really sharp. What do I have as far as binding goes? I have my old standby. I love this thing for everything. Maybe something more unique down here. Oh, I have this too. This could be, whoa. I can't squat I can't squat in general, but squatting in clogs is definitely a no. here. I have pieces that I've cut that I would love to get rid of, but I don't have enough. Let's see here, what's this? Let's poke it up. And this, ooh, this, I wonder if this could work. Oh, ooh, it's a little faded though. All right, we'll have this as a bigger print. That could go good. This is kind of intriguing though. It's kind of color adjacent. Oh, guess what I bought? So Rachel turned me on to the fact that that Swedish company that makes the binder attachments, I thought I had looked there and I didn't see one compatible for my machine. I was wrong. I bought both. I bought the single fold and the double fold knit binder for my cover stitch machine. I'm so excited. They already shipped it. They shipped it like the same day. Do you think that this is too small of a print? What kind of, I mean, it's the inside of my jacket, right? No, I like that. We're doing it. Let's do it. All right, this is pretty narrow binding, but you know what I could do is just do a single fold. So I could sew this right sides together and then turn it to the inside and leave it open on the back. So let's figure out how much we need. Let's iron it open. What company? I'll put a link to it. Yeah. I've been looking and I think that, you know, I must have forgotten about this one. There it is. Erskine Attachments, a Swedish company. Very affordable. That is not it. That's tractors. Erskine Attachments. That's might not be it. Oops. That can't be it. Where is it? I'm having to look around the camera. Oh, I found it. I found it. Okay, here we go. Okay. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Let's look at it together. Sorry for those of you here for a tutorial. Just fast forward. You'll be fine. Your free tutorial is waiting on the other side of shopping for cover stitch machines, cover stitch binding attachments. I think my camera is off for this here. Okay, so here's the where'd it go? Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, so I can't see chat is the only thing. Okay, I would really like to see the chat though. Okay, so this is one thing. I shopped on my phone, so this is probably gonna be a little easier. But so if you go to this little spot right here, web shop, you see this little thing, web shop right here, and there's a what binder attachment do I need? That's really helpful. Especially because when you see it's done by brand, I don't know why there's a little visual thing. So cover stitch, choose your brand. Look right here. See these tabs right here? This is what you want. Pick your machine here. So for me, the Juki, I have the 1500. I have the 1500. It's right here. And it says other cover stitch Jukis as well, right? And then this is what's compatible right here, right? So look at this list right here. If we pick a different machine, it changes. You see, everything changes. So this is the trick. This is probably why I missed it. So pick your machine with these tabs up here: Baby Lock, Brother, Genome, Juki, Fab. Now you can get the little plate to install it on your machine, or you can use like Ticky Tack, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Ticky Tack. I'm not going to install this. And then I also splurged and got some of the pre-cut binding, mainly because I'm paying $30 for shipping from Sweden. I'm going for the binding too because it's really affordable. So anyway, you can look forward to seeing some knit cover stitch binding stuff now that I'll actually have a proper attachment for my machine. So can I get rid of the pop out? Yeah, there we go. Except there's no chat there. Someone say something. Let me see. Like, okay, there it is. Okay, cool. All right. Anyway, did I miss anything? I think my chat's behind now. All right, let's keep going. All right, so I've cut my piece of binding here. I'm just gonna press it open. This is vintage binding that someone gave. It's not pre-washed though. Let's pre-wash it really quick, okay? I think, let me go get this wet. I was gonna dip it in my water glass, but I really want my water, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna go out and get this wet. You probably hear me do it. There's a little sink out here. No one's here. Don't you just love the sound of corduroy when you're walking? Okay, so let's shrink this up. Best I can, considering I didn't go through the laundry. And we'll dry iron it. You know how cavalier I am with things, but please, if you're gonna bind something and you didn't pre-wash the binding, you're not gonna like the effects of what happens when you wash your garment. It really has a negative effect on it. I've done that so many times because I had so much binding at my disposal when I would be like trying to carve out 10 minutes here and there to sew for myself before I was live streaming. And, you know, we had the binding machine, all this binding, and I'd be like, ooh, I'm going to do a fun little hem. The first time I washed it, the hem's all like crumpled, unironable. Not good. Some of them I just cut the hems off because they were so bad. One time I cut the hem off on a bias dress and wore it raw all day because it was so bad. And I just finished it later. I have a feeling that there's a significant fade line here, but we're not gonna be able to see it. It definitely smells vintage. Okay. He will pay. Let's find a top thread we like. navy blues are so weird. I think I'll go with that. We got to make today's stream last a little longer, right? This is so tight. I feel like my tension's been a little off lately. I wonder if I didn't put it back once I did the seam stitches and settings skill building session. It's kind of likely. Let's just do dark gray for a bobbin. Hey May, how's it going? Okay May, what did you think? I know you know what I'm talking about. Did you like the series? All right, so we're just gonna do a single fold binding. I rarely bind like this. We just did this recently for another project though. So we're gonna put this right sides together, which usually I go from the wrong side to the right side. But because we don't have the width for a double fold, we're just gonna, let's do it like right about there. I want it to show. This little edge here. This stuff is really not that stretchy. I'm having a little trouble getting around that curve there. I liked it a lot. I liked that. I feel like we finally got like more, you know? There, you know, there's definitely a couple of things to have a beef with, but I am fully satisfied. I've been really liking the accompanying podcast that goes with it too. And it turned my husband into a fan, so that's good. I hope this is gonna work out. This binding is kind of funky. It doesn't have any give. Look. This might look a little funny. That's not going to work at all. Was I just thinking the opposite thing here? Yeah, I was. I want to take this off. Yeah, it gives you a little more content, which is nice. I think I was just thinking of this as being the opposite of what I wanted. This might guarantee rip this. Let's try it though. Oh no, we're not doing that. Why is this so tight? It is bias, but it's got like no stretch. It's like nothing. It's already stretched out, you know? No, I can see the bias. You can see it. Can you see it? Definitely bias. But this is I don't know why I just did this. Like, what was I thinking there? I was thinking the opposite of what I wanted. I think. I don't know. It's not, it's, I just didn't do the right seam allowance. I was thinking I kind of distracted myself, and then I started thinking of this differently, of what I was planning. Like as I was sewing the wrong thing. Yeah. All right, with a seam ripper. I'm pretty happy with my cover stitch. It's pretty consistent. You know, it wasn't very expensive. I feel like it's a really good, like, middle of the road. But I just don't know a lot about all the machines out there. I don't really want to. I feel like you can really go down the rabbit hole of, you know, researching and stuff. I'm trying to rush this, and it's just taking longer because I am. Yeah, I feel like that's about what mine cost too, Aisha. It was like, I feel like it was more than the serger, but I can't remember. If I were to wish for anything, it would be that my serger was a 5-thread. That's all. Because then I could do a few other things with it. But it doesn't prevent me from doing anything I want, you know? I would just have a little bit more versatility on the seam style. Once we get past this back neck facing, I can rip this a little differently, I think. But pulling out stitches on tricot is terrible. It's just not okay. This isn't that great either. I think my tension's a little better though. Yeah, I was like all excited talking about that show I like, and you know, binding is something that I usually don't think while I'm doing. It's like one of those things that I've done too much of in some ways, and so I just kind of switched my sewing strategy midway and reverted to ways I sew binding that are not appropriate in this situation. So, my bad. It happens. You're not missing sewing drama. You're here. Oh, did I not do it? Oh, I didn't do a test little sew. I have all this thread vomit back here. How's it going, Mullen? Should we blame this on you? Is this what happens? Well, what I want is I want it to show up on the right side, but I need to leave enough to turn it under. And that, I don't know why I made it really wide. It was one of those things where I kind of was like, this is what I want. Just because you want it doesn't mean you can have it. Yeah, this isn't drama. Drama is when things go bad. Bad, right? Where's that little doohickey? Here, this thing. The little ice cream cone. That's what this is really great for. It's getting rid of all this. You know? I like the ice cream cone for this. So I need to do a much narrower seam allowance because it needs to be able to turn under and wrap under and around so that I can catch it. Not to mention that I'm probably going to be sewing it from the right side. I'm losing my little thing here. So I got to give myself a little bit of leeway too, you know? That's awesome, Terry. Just got to go the rainbow route like Elena. And there's someone else that does the rainbow route, right? Love that. Could be a signature. Oh, it would have been faster to just cut another piece of binding, pre-wash it, iron it dry. The other thing about this binding I didn't consider is that it's not stretchy. So that also plays into my seam allowance choice going forward. All right, so how are we on this piece? Gosh, we still have thread. How can there be this many threads? I mean, I ask you. I think using the, I kind of want to get another gleaner for my office now because I want that velvet thing. I just want a big velvet brush like that thing has for my ironing board and for stuff like this. Like that thing would pull the threads out, I think. Maybe it wouldn't. Sometimes I'll get the, if I have a lot of threads like this, I'll get the lint roller. Especially if there's like a sticky one kind of partially used on there. All right, that's pretty good. We'll look for any others. All right, where did it go? All right, so this time, let's do a better job here. Get rid of the back stitch though. So if we, just need to pull these out of the fabric first. Okay. If we sew this right sides together, how I need like that much. Okay. Okay, you know, I'm gonna try a narrow 1/4 inch this time. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Maybe I'll just look for one of those. I feel like I have seen those, like for like tailors, like suits and things. Clothes brush versus, yeah. Clothes brush. You guys are so smart. Things I just never pay attention to, you know? And then you realize, this has a place in the world. How have I not paid attention to this thing? Oh, that would actually work pretty good. That's funny. I had a friend that used one of those little tiny garden rakes for her sewing room so that she wouldn't have to vacuum all the time. And plus it would pick up all the really long threads because her vacuum was the kind that they would get wrapped around the beater bar, you know, and then, you know, you'd have to spend time cutting it off of that. So she would use a little tiny garden rake. Sometimes she said they're really hard to find, you know, but sometimes they have kids sections. Our Tractor Supply has rakes in a few sizes though. I think when it's not a kid's style and it's actually a real rake, it works a little better because some of the kids ones, they're plastic tines that will get brittle and crack over time. And I have one here I just have it in the hallway. Yeah, a clothes brush, exactly. It came with my new gleaner thing and I'm like, this thing's really cool. You know, like just brushing my sweaters with that thing made them look so much nicer. Especially after I used the lint brush. All right, so now we're barely gonna make it, you guys. We're gonna trim this down a little bit. How did they use such tiny little binding? Definitely gonna trim it here in this curve. This will be a nice touch though. Oh, I hope Hearts doesn't mind me doing this. I think I did this on the Needles Sharp sponsorship, or I added piping to the pajamas. And then later I was like, I hope that was okay. I'm literally saying you can get everything you need for the project in the box. And then I ended up pulling out vintage piping. And my thinking with that was that I think that the details would show up better on the camera because you could see the definition of the seams using the piping. And I was like, well, at least it matches too because it's really cute. Because I don't really like, you know, like it's not my preference to sleep with pajamas with piping. I just thought it would like be easier to see. It looks cuter, but you know, functionally wise, more comfortable without. Because I'm not going to double fold it, Shem. I'm doing single fold. Because it's not wide enough. It's so narrow. The other strat that you could do if you have really narrow binding like this is sew it together, like use two pieces, and you have a seam on this perimeter edge here. I've done that once. It's kind of fussy, and you lose a little bit of your width when you do that, so you have to be pretty precise. Use a really small stitch length. It's a little fussy. Just depends on what you're after. I'm really pulling it over so it covers my edge there. Let's hope. It'll look cute though. I've got a lot on this edge. Well, I gotta remember my label. Label. Ooh, it's gonna look so cute. Look at this. Finally made my ironing board cover the other day after the stream. Gosh, I thought that was my water glass. I'm trying to close this like, you should run an ad. All right. Right here with the clothes brush. Right here with the clothes brush. Oh, wow, Terry, really? Okay. I could stitch in the ditch. That would look so nice. Do you think I can do it? Oh, I'm going to try. The binding is very well behaved. I'm going to stitch in the ditch. I'm using a size 16 needle, though. Oh, okay. All right, let's hope I'm catching that binding, right? No problem here. Plenty. We're gonna be fine. What were we just sewing where we did this? We didn't do the stitch in the ditch, but we did single fold, right? Single fold. Oh gosh, Terry, I know. I've done that same exact thing. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, hand stitching a label. Labels are really thick. Yeah, a smaller needle would be preferable. This does look pretty magical though. Look at that. So flat. Diane, do you want me to send you the other part of my package of vintage binding? The person who gave me this binding would be so happy to see it being used like this, I think, too. There's this thread right here. All right. We almost didn't catch it right here. Okay. That looks really nice. I love the way it looks. It is so flat. Look at how flat this is. It's like one with the fabric. Yeah. Maybe I should put a little loop in here, you know? Let's see. I know someone in the guild was like, no, I think it's Rachel, right? No, not Rachel. It's not Rachel. Hi, Rita. How's it going? Welcome from Algeria. Wow. I'm in California. All right, I'm gonna sew this. I'm gonna make a little loop. Someone said, no, I hang my clothes on a hanger the way you're supposed to. No loop here. It was someone in the Sew Over 50, and I loved the semi-snark of it. I was like, I love loops. If I could hang all my clothes on loops, I would. Hi, Leah. How's it going? The sewing's not almost done. I just had to seam rip it a little bit because I put all this binding on and I took it off. I think that, yeah. Right? Yeah, we want it. Do I want it in this seam? I feel like I'm forgetting something here. Okay, Rachel, yeah. Yeah, I realized, I was like, wait, that was on Instagram that someone said that. It wasn't in the guild. I don't know why I thought it was you. Maybe their name was Rachel or something. What am I doing here? Okay. I'm going to flip this actually. I like to go like this, right? Turn a corner there and then pull it up like this. It lays a little flatter. I like a nice big loop. I do not know what the point of putting a loop is if you cannot put it over the thing, you know? I did figure something out, but I don't think it's worth it. It would be more like this would be a fun alternative, you know? Exactly, Libby. You know what I want? My dream, and it's been this way for like 20 years or more, is to have a quilt rack, you know? Like how they have those quilt holders to display them in like your bedroom or whatever. And I want those for clothes. I've even thought about getting like the little tailor stand where it has the little coat hanger and then the pants thing, you know? Because I wear outfits multiple times in a week, and so I just want to be able to put it there like that, you know? So, all right, we put our, didn't I put my label somewhere? Oh, it's on my dress form. I'll just get another one. I think I'm just going to use my label for once. Like this. Yeah, that'll work. I'm trying to pull it down because I have a 3/8 inch seam allowance here. All right, we're finally getting to the collar. This interlude is over. We're doing the collar now. So, center back notch. Let's pull out the pins, get comfortable a little bit. Get this out of my way. Mine's the top of a shoe rack in my closet, my hangers. And then I actually did put a, like a coat rack thing, you know, with multiple hooks on it. And I put like my vests, little house jackets, things like that. Not like outdoor jackets, hoodies, things I wear a lot. Yeah, I do, Rebecca. I only have one though. And it was like, I've never bought them, but they were given to me in like one of those subscription boxes. My brother loves them, so I usually save them for the things I make for him. He giggles, and it's just really good giggling, you know. All right, where's this notch? There's got to be a shoulder notch, right? Right. I don't see a shoulder notch. All right, let's line this up to this butterscotch line right here. Everything but clothes. It's like a treadmill, you know? Like treadmills make really good clothes hangers too, right? Hi, Mary. How's it going? Let's put a stay stitch in our neckline. Should have done that a while ago. I can tell it's a little loose. Oh, I need to switch my thread back too. Wah. Kind of gonna scrunch it up a little bit. Kind of combat some of that relaxing that it's done. We all know how a flannel can be. You know, Eliza, I just have used so much bias that's 35 millimeters, which is 1 3/8 inch wide. And I'm really comfortable with that. The only time I don't like using that width is when I'm facing a neckline or a hem. Then I use 1 inch. So, on your pocket bucket. I could totally see it being a legit swear word on sewing the pocket bucket. Like, I would not be offended if that were the case, because I know what it's like to sew those. I love that you've sewn it. That's awesome. All right. We'll attach the collar first, since it looks like it could be a little bit fussy. And let me change my thread back to the not blue. Oh, that's what fell. That's right. Right here. You know, I must be almost out of bobbin thread too. Oh, me too, Malin. I love those two. I love those two together. I love pink and orange together as well. We have enough to do maybe the stay stitch of the collar, and then we can wind it. So let's do that. Just so that both of my bobbins are low, which is kind of annoying sometimes when they're both the same state. I know exactly why it happens too. I don't have a good excuse. Come on. All right. Okay, put this here. And then we'll put this one here. Making sure I don't have the wrong collar, because look, it's kind of peeking out there. I'm going to take out the stay stitching right here and fix that right now. This is the center front of my jacket. So you see how I have a little bit peeking out right here? I'm going to pull that under. I'm going to engineer it to look the way I want right now. I might get a little tuck right here, but it's not going to be significant once it's sewn into the neck. It'll calm down. I can scratch it out, something like that. All right. Let's see if we can get this in here. Get all these little threads towards the neck. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. It's easy to despair when you think, oh my gosh, this is never going to fit, but you can see, look, it's fine. It's really that when you have these curves like this, what happens is when you don't see the seam line lined up right on top of the seam line of the other piece, it will look like it's not going to fit. This is going in just fine. Plus, I kept the larger side on the underside towards the feed dogs, and the feed dogs will help sort of ease it in a little bit. Get it just nice and flat. This one feels a lot fussier, this side. I might get a tuck on this side. Let's see here. I mean, it looks smooth right there. Look at that. In between the seams of the raglan is a little bit of a depression between them because of the thickness of my flat felt seam. So it's kind of losing the battle. The seam, where the seam is, it really can't take up any of this because it's like, it's thick, right? It's only in between. All right, we did it. Cool. All right, now we're gonna do the facing on here. Actually, we're gonna do the zipper, right? The zipper. The zipper on. So my zipper's really long. Let's see. I can probably use my regular presser foot too, which is better for me because I don't feel like the other one has a lot of traction. So let's just kind of map out how long we're going to make this now, because we kind of want it to end on the same side on both sides. And with a separating zipper, you can put it in one side at a time, or you can put it in with both attached. You'll probably have to do just one side for one of the sides, and that's because of the bulk of the head of the zipper. This thing is really long. I think I'm gonna cut off some of the zipper right now so that I don't have to deal with it. We start from the bottom and go up. You could. You can even start from the inside. What do I want to do? This is the deal with zipper tape. I always give this speech about zipper tape. Zipper tape is weird. It's very flexible inside here, like in between the chain, or the teeth, I mean, and the edge right here, right? This little area here is very flexible. Like it's like a loose weave. That being said, it is also really hard to change it if you say you put it onto a piece of fabric and you put the zipper side up and the fabric on the underside ends up being shorter than your zipper when you get to the end. You can't force the zipper to be longer. It's just one of those things. It feels really wiggly in here. It is not flexible at all. I really got familiar with that with one of my products. It was the Zip Double. It was such a pain that I learned that I had to sew it with one side up, you know? All right, so let's see here. So right now I'm thinking like, maybe I can't remember what I want. Do I want to sew it from the fabric side up or the zipper side? Because this is very clear and easy, right? You can see your zipper. So let's just try one and we'll figure out our preference. Probably could have put the collar on afterward too. All right, so we're gonna line up this. Let's see. We'll line up this line to this plaid stripe and see how close we are. Make sure to back it off of the seam allowance because we still have our waistband here. I think it's okay if it's not perfectly in line with that edge. Just make sure it's symmetrical, like left to right. I think that's the better way to go. That looks pretty reasonable. So we're gonna crank the zipper tape over like this, so we might need to back off the pin a little bit more. Because you want this coil chain. Well, let's see, you could actually, no, you don't want to do that. You want this to end before the edge here. Don't do this. Don't run your zipper off the edge, because when we put the facing on, the facing has to turn to the inside, and that means that this zipper would have to fold to the inside like this. It doesn't always work, so you got to be careful with that. You can remove your teeth if you want. I never do. I kind of want it a little lower. Don't I have this? Oh yeah. I have it not matching on this side, but I do on the other side, don't I? Oh no, I don't. Vimeo is such a great video platform. I've tried several times to kind of get on board with Vimeo. I never did, just because it's expensive. And nothing you do on Vimeo shows up in the search results. But there's some really good content on there. I've never had luck doing that, Shem. So I don't. It's only worth it if it's worth it to you. Like, if you like doing that, go for it. But I think if you get a nice little tidy right angle like that, you know, and you're careful with sewing your teeth, it'll be fine. I kind of want this even a little lower. I don't want to worry about these teeth, you know. It's heavy. Okay. I'm going to push this down just a tad. Right under this seam right here. I'm lining it up. I think it depends on your project. This one calls for, I can't remember the length. I can't remember if it was an easy to find length. I didn't pick the zipper out. Hart sent it to me. I love what they picked. And they warned me. They said, you know, we don't have the zipper in the right length. And I said, that's fine. I think they gave me options of what I wanted to do as far as length goes. Push the seam allowance down on the waistband toward the waistband. Okay, we have this little stop here that might, okay, we made it. All right, so now I'm gonna look and see how wiggly my plaid seam is. It's a little wiggly right here at the top. I could probably do a little bigger seam allowance there. So let's look at it from this side. It's a little easier to see. Here we go. All right, let's do our other side. I think I left it up to you guys at the beginning. I tested it and said that I'm not going to use one because my zipper foot isn't as wide as most people's. It's really, really narrow, and it makes my stitches really wiggly. But there's a lot of zipper tape. So most dressmaking zippers that you buy at the store, the tape is usually 1/4 of an inch narrower than this, which doesn't leave much tape. The tape's like this wide right here. You'd have to use a zipper foot. I like it when it's this wide because then I can just use the seam allowance that's on the plaid pattern, you know? I hate it when you get a zipper and you're sewing it into a seam and it's got 5/8 inch seam allowance, but the zipper tape only has like 5/16. You're like, okay, I gotta float the zipper away from the raw edge and line it up on the seam line, and that's tricky, you know? All right, so let's bend back this other side. Did I put I think I put it down. Wait, did I put it down? Oh, yeah, I did, because I put it up back here. So what I'm talking about is this little fold right here. See the fold of the tape right there? You see how it's on the back side here. You see how on the back side it's running along the edge of the teeth here. So you can make it actually, on coil it's a lot easier to get it to like run perfectly along that edge. So the other way you can do it is like this, folding it, and it goes along this coil here. Now, I usually go up, but it doesn't matter that much. And the reason it doesn't matter is because whatever it's doing on this side, it's doing the opposite on the other side. So I like this on the other side, and I just did it on the back side this time. So you have to have one on one side. Going to tack it. I want my awl to hold this in place. Just a little tack. And you know, on this one right here, by the way, I can now cut this flush between the teeth. All right, and so we have this landing right here at a gray stripe. So we're going to do that over here. Like that. And then on this side here, we have this seam, the waist seam right here, right there. And then we have the end of the zipper smack dab in the middle of the pink, the pink stripe there. So we're just using these little landmarks to help us line up our zipper straight across. I think with zippers, sewing zippers in isn't hard. It's really the lining up across from one another. I get really excited when it just does it the first time, you know? And when you put in a zipper, usually you're going down from the top to sew in one side, and on the other side you're going up from the bottom. And what can happen is then your jacket can get a little bit wonky. So it's really important to have these little milestones, these little landmarks here. So if you have a fabric that's really hard to do, especially if you don't have the benefit of seams, well, seams can actually add another layer of difficulty, right? But say you're doing a hoodie and you have that pocket, that little hand pocket, and you're trying to get it right across from one another. What I would do is tack it. So I'm just gonna tack this right here. And I'm gonna tack it pretty close to where I'm gonna sew the seam, like that. And now I can kind of go, all right, is this good enough? Before I sew the whole thing in, right? So let's look at it. And it's kind of not. Let's see, if this were all sewn, what would I think? I think partly, remember how I was like worried about the width of this cream stripe when I sewed this and this, you know? That is gonna come into play, right? So this is actually probably okay. I don't know. Let's fold this down like this. Look at it for a little bit further. It's a little higher. Is it though? It's actually not. Huh. I think it's an optical illusion. But optical illusion still makes it look off, right? So you got to decide, do I want to do that again? Do I want to like take this out? I mean, I only have a tack in there right now, right? I can take this out right now and shift it a little bit. Pull out those stitches. Get rid of all the threads. And this way you're not tiring out the whole center front of your jacket. This is especially the case on knits, you know, like a hoodie. All right, so let's look at this again. Where do we want this line? This line looks a little high, so we want to match to the bottom of this gray line that I drew on here. So let's put this at the bottom of this gray line that I drew, like that. Let's see if that's better. And you could do this in a few different spots. There's nothing wrong with doing this. You're home sewing. Like, you're not trying to make piece rate, right? So be nice to yourself. Okay, let's see how it looks now. That does look better. Like there's something about just moving it that one line width down that helped. So we'll leave it there. And then up here, let's analyze this. So we have our teeth here, and the teeth themselves are lining up to the bottom of this gray stripe up here. See that? So I'm not talking about the cream tape, I'm talking about the teeth. And so that's what we want on this side here. We want those teeth to line up with the gray stripe. And we want it to line up there on the seam line. So right here is the seam line. Not over here, but right here. Probably like right here actually. 1/4 inch in, about right here. Slide it up a tiny bit. Like that. All right. My zipper is shut right now, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. All right, and then over here, let's get rid of this interfacing on this side so we can truly see what it looks like across from one another, right? So we can lay this on top. We can line up our band here. It's not going to be very easy because this is a stiff zipper. So look, we can line this up here and we can see our tape is in the middle of the pink. This pink line is still lining up over here. So this feels pretty good as long as you don't let the machine push the zipper towards you when you start. So we'll go backwards a little bit. There we go. All right. The last thing we're going to be worried about is sewing a straight line because of the plaid and just making sure that that doesn't become a problem later, right? All right, and here we have our tack here, so that was easy. And I'm just lining up this edge of this tape to the raw edge there. And I am kind of looking like, can you see this gray line right here and the gray line right there? So that looks pretty good. So I am a little concerned, like, remember I told you about how you can sew from the top down on one side and you'll be sewing from the bottom up on the other side. This is the perfect storm for you to get these little tiny micro amounts off, especially on a flannel or a yarn dyed fabric, which is a little bit flexible that way. This one's pretty tightly woven, but it's still gonna be tough. So we just definitely want to hold it in place. Obviously didn't pin it, and you could probably stabilize it by doing pins. I just think pins sometimes will lie to you a little bit because you'll be trusting them implicitly and you won't realize that things have gotten a little bit off. Or it was just pinned like one tiny bit off, right? So we'll see. Oh, I ran out of thread. You guys are supposed to remind me. At least I ran out at the bottom there. Okay. Oops. I have a little bit on here. It'll be enough for our zipper and a few things. All right, we got our back tack in, barely. I'm gonna get rid of it though, because I don't want that bulk of the thread there. All right, so get that lined up again, right where I want it. Chat got so quiet. I always get really self-conscious, like, this is so, you're telling us stuff we already know, Saremy. Why do you assume we don't know how to do this? And then I feel really bad. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. All right, here, this looks a little bit lower to me over here. Let's just kind of peek. Yeah, we're gonna just give it a little tug. Yeah, you know, Nancy, I know this machine, my old version of this machine, I could hear it. I don't hear it on this one. And I feel like when I first got it, I could hear it. Because I remember Terry going, I just heard it. I'm like, yeah, I did too, okay. But now I don't. Maybe it's because I'm just not tuning into that. It probably is still making that noise and I'm just not hearing it, you know? So. You're terrified. Oh, I'm glad, Monta. Welcome. You're terrified. Don't be terrified. It's just a straight seam. If you're not matching a plaid, you know. The first side always goes. All right, so we're going to look at this where the zipper tape's touching this little gray stripe here, and we're gonna, I'm holding on to this little edge pretty fiercely here. All right, true test. Let's zip it up. The last time I did one of these, I feel like I always do these when I'm not making something on camera, because it's Shem that kind of made me realize, like, you never do zipper hoodies and stuff like that. And I'm like, I've done like 5. It's because I did them for gifts and I couldn't show them on camera. That's why. So the last one I did was this border print fabric for my sister that was pretty incredible. The fabric was really incredible. And I did a hoodie out of it. And I was so nervous because, you know, it's a gift and I was trying to match a picture. All right, how does it look? I'm looking on camera. It's a little easier for me to see. I had to stand up and look. Okay, this looks good. I would say that if I were to critique anything, that the butterscotch stripe is a little bit, it could be a little wiggly. And it really bugs me that I didn't get it here. That's it. Yeah, the forest hoodie was, it was so beautiful. The fabric just really made it so good. I have so much of that fabric left. All right. This is really bugging me right here. I think it's just one of those things where I'm going to have to just bite it and let it go because of the amount of fabric we had. Okay. So we have the facing to put on here with the waistband. That's it. Yeah, thanks guys. I'm pretty excited about this. All right. Didn't I put a, oh no, it's on the facing. Okay, so we're gonna put the facing on and we need to attach it to our band. So we're gonna sew the other band together, the inner band. Right here. Which doesn't match either because I really was like running out of fabric. It's bugging me that, do I like this or like this? I think like this looks better. Okay. It's bugging me because the plaid doesn't match perfectly going from top to bottom. Because I didn't have enough fabric. Like I did cut it, I did plan on cutting it that way, but I aimed for the wrong, it's just all stuff. It's, you know, is this it? This one, okay. Because when I lined up my center front, I said, all right, I'm gonna put this seam line in the middle of the butterscotch stripe. By the time I got to cutting the band out, I was like, oh, you put the seam line, you put the line, the cut line in the middle of the butterscotch stripe. I put the seam line on the butterscotch stripe, not the cut line. And when I did the band, I did the cut line, not the seam line. So that's what's bugging me. I could have contrived it to work, but it would have been a little bit, I would have been changing the band length. So, thanks, Jackie. I'm gonna press this really quick. Press this really quick. Look, I didn't even have enough like fat interfacing, and I had to use a piece that I had to do a shrink test on. I love how much attention I'm putting into this jacket and how many little shortcuts are still built into it. All right, so we're gonna sew the facing to the band here like this. So we're gonna just sew this right sides together at the center fronts on both sides. Get it untwisted a little bit. You're gonna get a big unwieldy piece here, but we're gonna put it right sides together just like that. And we're gonna do seam allowance that matches. hopefully. And then I kind of want to check to make sure these are exactly the same. And the reason is because I had to piece one together. Yeah, see that? I knew I needed to check that. We're going to trim this one off here. So this is how it is in the instructions too. So just so y'all know. All right, where I lost it here. Let's see. Like this, like this, like this. All right. You could still make a pretty nice garment even if you have to piece things together, right? Or do some shortcuts because you kind of have to. Now we have this big, long facing piece. I'm going to put this right sides together. I don't think it will. All right. Let's put a few pins in here. We want all these little threads to be in the seam allowance. I think I'm going to do this from this side too. So I'm going to put this jacket side up. This is the magical part, right? This is when we get to see the whole jacket going to come together now. All right. We don't have a notch here. We have a notch here though. This one will live at Hart's Fabric for a few months too. So if any of you are in the area there, you can go and inspect it up close. Or try it on if you're looking for a size. I might wear it for like a month before I send it to him though. While it's still a little cool here. All right, so your zipper is going to be a little like, it's going to be a stretched out edge now because it's so stiff. That's true, Shem. Good point. I'm going to put the seam along the seam allowance here. Look at that. Why is that, why is this one wider than this one? The heck? It's literally the same pattern piece. Why is that so much wider? What the heck? I cut these out at the same time. They're all interfaced. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the stripes. What happened to this? I don't understand. I trimmed it. That does seem familiar. But I didn't trim it because I needed to make them different, right? What are you telling me, Julie? This sounds familiar. Why did I do that? I would have done the other side though, right? Ooh. Because this isn't the same either. Then. For the binding. Oh, no, I trimmed this edge for the binding. That's the facing edge. I don't remember trimming this though. What the heck? Why? Why is that different? Did it shrink more? I mean, can I do a smaller seam allowance on this? Then the seam wouldn't match. I'm totally puzzled why that happened. I need that. I need that really badly, that little seam allowance there. Let's look at the fabric, but I think we're pretty much... Oh, I do have a spare set of these though. Are they wider? They don't look wider. When I cut the, when I recut these to match, did I cut them wider? No, the pattern piece isn't off. This is the same pattern piece for the inner and the outer. Something I did. Alien sounds very plausible right now. Ay, caramba. You know what the fix is? It's taking the zipper off. It's taking the zipper off. And I'm not in the mood for that. I am not in the mood for that. Okay, if I did this, if I did this in a much smaller seam allowance, can I get it to, look at that. It's not gonna work though. It's fully a stripe wider. This is sewing drama. This, exactly. This is sewing drama. I mean, I was getting really excited about being on the home stretch. All right. Let me just throw a pity party for a second. Can binding fix it? I don't think so. I kind of want to stick with how it's supposed to end up being. I mean, binding does fix many things though. I appreciate that. No, I can't because I need the seam allowance to sew the band together right here. And I need this to be the same width on the inside and the outside because we're going to stitch in the ditch on the right side to enclose it. We're taking the zipper out, you guys. Really, Julie? I don't know. I got my shiv here, right? So tell me a story. That won't work because I need the band to be the same on the inside and the outside. Okay, let me show you why that won't work. Just so you guys, I know it's like sometimes we just don't want to have to like do the terrible thing like removing the zipper, right? Okay, so here's the deal. So when we are gonna attach this facing here, right? Here we have our facing. Pull the camera up a little bit more. All right, so here's our jacket. Let's look at it from the inside. Here's our jacket, right? So when we put this facing on, we need this to go around the perimeter, right? Just like this. And, or let's show you on the right side, sorry. Like this. This seam right here, sure, it could be off, right, to the outside. No one is gonna know. But at the same time, we need to clean finish this edge right here, right? And so, and actually this is one way you could do this, by the way, is that you could sew the facing to the perimeter and leave this bottom edge clean, and then you could flip this up and do right sides together, right? So this was one of the solutions I came up with, is you could do this like this, pull this down, tuck these two in, and edge stitch it shut. But see, that's the problem, is that if I line this up right here to down the center front, right, and I'm short like this, what happens is if I force it, this is going to pull to the inside more, and not to mention that I don't have enough, I have to move the zipper, right? So if we did this, like we lined it up here, made this seam allowance smaller, made the whole perimeter match, what would happen is this would be too short. We'd have a raw edge right here. This is what it would look like if I changed this seam allowance here to make it work. So that's why I say that. Hi, Anne. Welcome. So sometimes you just have to do it before it's, because this is the thing, is like it would be more work and actually not work out. So our zipper is all set up though. Well, we're gonna have to shorten it at the top. I'm sorry, you guys. I know it's kind of a bummer for you too. Get you a transfer there. You'll go anywhere but where you are. Yeah, but the band isn't wide enough. This band isn't wide enough. Remember, so when this is finished, it won't be, I mean, I guess you could put a strip on the inside of this. Is that what you mean? I guess I could do that. I could. We could even do it, you know, I know what happened, Shem. I know what happened. It's because I cut these bands out, and then I was like, I want these to match on the outside. And so I recut just one set, and I made them wider. Yeah, I think Eliza's got a good solution. We could do that. We could put a little stripe right here. Do you want to try that? Oh, I bet that is actually intentional, Rebecca. I see that a lot. I used to have someone on my channel that was actually kind of problematic, and their name was John Doe, which was my first tip. Would you guys like it if I did that? You want me to piece it? Binding is the answer. I don't know if doing it, it is. Binding is always the, oh, I just already got the fabric, sorry. We do have, okay, you guys, I agree, I agree. I'll give in to this idea. We do have pieces right here. They're all cut in the right length and everything. See? We have them. You're right. Okay, Eliza, you win. We could maybe do it in the binding fabric on top of the flannel and make it look like an intentional detail. Let me show you what I mean. Let me put this back on here. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for backing me away from the ledge of sewing despair now. Eliza's like, phew. That was a close one. What if we did this? Did this. What do you think of that? I would not rub the zipper. I think that'd be kind of cute. You want to do it at the top? It's going to be on the inside. No one's going to see it. Yeah, that's true. If we did it at the top, If we did it at the top, it would go right with this. Okay. You guys are so good. Thanks, Monica. You're with us in spirit. Kangaroo pockets are fun. Kangaroo pockets are one of those things that once you sew one, you want to add them to everything. I know I'm going to get a comment on this stream about my seam ripping because I did it so shortcutty. So you can just not if you want to comment about it. I know. This ain't my first rodeo. Okay. Take this off. And we'll take it off over here. At the top. Okay, okay. We need one stripe. So we need one stripe plus seam allowance on both pieces. It also means our stripe is going to look a little bit off, if that makes sense. Yeah, I resewed it. I resewed the zipper. I already did that because I was like, oh, let's just put this back to rights, you know? Okay. Man, fabric chicken, man, really causes issues later on. All right. So this is going to be set aside for now. And then we have these pieces here. And we need them to be, at least we have this all sewn together. So if we need this to be, basically, we need this to be a seam allowance wider. Right? We need seam allowance here, plus we need the seam allowance to sew it. So if we sewed a seam here, that's what we need it to be. We need it to be this much wider, and we need to be able to sew it on. So, you drinking? Oh man, I like to think of it as a science though. This is too thin, I think, to put it on by itself. You know? Do I think interfacing could be good enough for this? I don't know. We also need to pre-wash this again. So let's cut a piece. I don't know if this will work. My binding idea might not work. And it's because it's just not very wide, you know? If this were sewn like this, maybe. Seam allowance along top gonna be too thick for piecing. Yeah, it really could be. So let's look at it like this. Let's take this piece here and we're gonna add, I'm like looking at the plaid. Let's cut this piece off right here. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna make it much wider. If we cut this off right here, yeah, right here. Okay. Maybe, I don't know. I may just skip the binding part, you know. I could do the binding in a different way, like when we do the finish, you know. And then where's my other pieces? Right here, okay. I don't know, do I have the, same. I'm going to cut off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stripes again. I'm sort of trying to keep it the same stripes, but they won't match then to the pieces below. I was thinking about making this bias so that it would be like a fun diagonal detail, but I kind of thought better of that because I don't really want to deal with it being too hard to sew and stretchy, especially flannel. When you have to piece things together, make it bigger. Don't do the math. Just, you're already a little bit stressed. That's my tip today. All right, and so now let's sew this together. Sew this together. And we'll sew this one together. All right, and now we don't need this wide of one, obviously. If we piece that together, the gray stripe will continue, at least on this piece. It won't on the others, but that's okay. So this is what I'm thinking is like, if I did this, so folded it up, we could probably cut this like right here. So let's just cut this here, cut this off. And I think the binding is going to be too narrow for this. No, because in the end, once I piece this together, I'm going to be sewing it exactly how you would if you didn't have this problem, right? We're just going to pretend like it's the band intact. I have to redo my back stitches right here at these seam junctures. Okay. So if I sew this, oh, it's not matching. Okay, that's fine though. All right, so if we sew this right sides together along that seam right there, we're gonna get our extra. I could probably trim it down even more. So I'm not doing the seam yet because I actually still have a little bit of a hope that maybe we could put the binding, but I just think we need too much because we only needed a 1/2 inch. But the thing is, because we had seam allowance, we are losing another 1/2 inch. And so we're making up more. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to sew this to here. And yeah, we're going to do our best to stay straight. Right in a plaid line. That's the camera angle. It's a little bright today, huh? See you, Shim. Enjoy your movie. Hearts will probably feel bad because they're going to think that they shorted me fabric when they didn't. Oh, thanks, Leah. I know I never wear this. It's supposed to be more like a shirt. Like, I don't usually wear it over a shirt. Well, I actually never wear this. But I'm wearing my Miriam trousers today, and I just thought, oh, it would be fun to wear this little cardigan. it's meant to be worn like a single layer. So buttons up and it's like a little top, sweater top. Last time I wore it was to a Christmas party for my husband's work. That was the last time I saw Rayanne, I think. Wow. Oh no. I saw her after that because the fire was after that. Never mind. Okay, so if we press this seam open and we get this up here, it is going to be, if we press it down, we'd have two seams pressed down. I think that's the way to go, unfortunately. Press the seam down. Right? And then when we get to sewing this, we're going to have to turn this down as well. Right there. And we'd have the seam allowance under here. It's going to look like that, you guys. That's what this is going to look like. With very unmatched plaid. They do, yeah, positively. It's always fun because Alexa and I weirdly wear the same size, and it's only because she's a lot taller than me. Because I'm bigger around than her, but she's taller. And so so I love seeing the garment on her because it looks completely different. It's really cool. No, I don't think so. I think it'll be fine because we're going to keep them away from the seam. You see how I'm pushing the seam allowance down here? It'll be like that. This would be the same. I did make this really wide though, didn't I? All right, so we want to cut this a little bit further down. All right, let's press this and we'll be back on track. We're about to be back on track. I still think if I could have shortened the zipper, it would have been fine. How much does this plaid bug us? It's like just slightly off here. This iron works so good. Oh, wait, we need to press this down, don't we? We need to press this down. That's what it is. Pressing it down. Not as easy. It's really funny in the guild, there's like a little thread of where to find this fabric right now. I looked on Minerva for you guys because this weekend is free international shipping and free domestic shipping if you're in the UK. And they do have a lot of Mammoth Plaid Junior. When you're looking on their site, just remember that they have, they'll show one colorway and the others are actually in little bubbles underneath it. So don't assume the color you're seeing is the only one they have. There's this thread right here. Yeah, this is mine, but it's going to be displayed there for a little bit. Oh, thanks, Terry. All right, this is my final cut now. I have to commit. And I'm just going to take off, I'm so nervous about it, right? We're just going to take off half of a cream colored stripe here. Just that's it. And then we're back in business. They're going to be like, what in the patchwork is going on this jacket? Probably could have done a better job if I wasn't distracted streaming. I will think of you guys. Design detail. What's our code word? Rustic. It's rustic. That's what we say when, you know, it's code for sewing drama. All right. How to save your garment with the least amount of trouble, by the Sew Guild chat. All right, so we're going to put this facing back on here. And what should be between here and here is a seam allowance for the bottom. It's a little wider. Wider is better than too small. Let's check it out before we sew the other one. These are going to go down. It could be a little bit less. Maybe I should have sewed it there. I'm going to do that. I'm not taking chances. Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I sort of wish it was on the bias though. Like I kind of wish I would have just, but I'm not sure I have enough to cut anything on the bias. Like a long strip like that, it would have been pieced together, which would have added bulk. I think that would have given it visual interest that would have been actually really appealing, you know? And I could have interfaced it to stabilize it. So that's an idea. You know what's great about a garment with a zipper is once you sew your garment, you're done. You don't have to do any buttons or buttonholes or snaps. Like it's ready to wear, you know? That's awesome. I love that. Like a dress. Put a zipper in a dress and you're like, I could wear this home. I could wear it out of the sewing studio. You know, like when you wear your new shoes out of the store. All right. Okay, I'm going to do this a little bit smaller. I will take a chance and I will cut it. I thought a half stripe was weird. I was just being nervous. So just in case you get bored and you want to take off, I understand. My next stream is in a couple weeks, a little less than a couple weeks, and I'll be drafting and sewing a top. And it was going to be one of two designs, and I think I'm just going to do the tuck one because I think that's something you guys have wondered about. So it's a little blouse with, they're not actually pin tucks, but people call them pin tucks. They're bigger than, pin tucks are like really tiny. But it will have tucks down the fronts. It's going to have a collar, and I'm going to draft it from scratch and then sew it afterward. Like, you know, like the same as like sewing part 1 and part 2. And I'm excited about it. I don't even think I've picked out fabric for it. Oh wait, I have actually, yeah. And I'm also gonna, in the coming months, I'm gonna draft this one dress that I love that isn't available anymore. So I don't feel bad doing that. It's called the Amelia dress, and I'm gonna make some improvements to the design too. It's a little bias cut dress. So maybe by then, some folks will be feeling like they have a few patterns that they would trust to start drafting from, kind of like a sloper. I think lastly, the only other thing kind of new that I announced yesterday, and I haven't added it yet, but all I'm going to add to the apprentice group benefits in the guild, and it's going to be a fitting thing. So I'm going to add a monthly live fitting session. And if you're already like a journeyist or master group, you'll have access to that. And then the apprentice, if you're already an apprentice group, you're just going to get access to that as well. And I'll write it up in the next few days and make an announcement in there just so you know that it's really happening. Okay, here we are. I'm going to go like this. That way if I do timestamps, I know this is when you want the timestamp to put in the facing. That was my signal to myself. Ooh, you know, Dibby has a pattern like that. It's a women's jean. I don't know if you've ever modified women's pants for him, but they have motocross pants with pin tucks like that. Do I have a clown? Well, I just don't have a lot of other gigs. And my motto this year is only paid work. I'm only doing paid work. And it's not really like I'm getting paid work, but I feel like adding to some of the benefits, something that I've actually wanted to do, is a good call. Could lead to more members, right? So yeah, because I'm not like really bending over backwards to create things that I don't get compensated for, I have a little bit more time. And you guys come first. Like the guild comes first for me because you guys are putting a lot of faith in me financially. So yeah. You got to remember, you guys, I'm actually sewing the thing here, right? It's done when I get done here. So it's not like I have to go and then make this later. Come on, plaids, match. I'm trying to match them because they do match on the inside of the facing. That is one thing I did. The zipper, you can see, look at the zipper. We'll get it to work. Okay, well, it might not work through here, but we'll get it to work the whole length. Yeah, pin tucks and dark denim, that would be really cool, really sharp. Let's pick this up for a second. All right, here we go. We're just putting this right sides together all the way around. And I'm going to sew it from the jacket side of things so I can see my first stitch lines. I really need some pins here that aren't... My pin cushion is a wreck right now. I don't understand how they get pushed down like that. I don't do that. And I don't have a kiddo coming in here and rearranging my pins anymore, you know? Is this twisted? Oh yeah, tell me it's twisted. Tell me this is twisted. Oh, I bet you could. I mean, there is denim twin needle. Does it have to be a heavyweight denim? Because there's a lot of lightweight denims. Especially right now going into spring. There will be lighter weight denims for sale. This shoulder seam does match the middle sleeve seam, just so you know. Okay, let's look at this down here. Is this twisted? It's not. Okay, I was paranoid for no reason. Yeah, I think it is. Gremlins. I'm wondering if it's because every time I put a pin back on here, I push pins down. There's got to be some logical reason, right? He wants the head. Oh, maybe the trial version can be in lighter weight, and we'll see. Does he ride a motorcycle? So do they need to be like functional too? Like the abrasion resistance? All right, so let's match up our seams here. I still get fooled by picking quilting pins out and then they just bend, you know. All right. I'm ready to sew pretty much. Let's start at the bottom. We'll start right here at the center back in the bottom. I'm going to try and follow my stripe, my pink stripe. Remember, I'm going to do this in the middle of the pink stripe here. And I can see it on my, through my interfacing there. Oh, really? That's so cool. They're a nostalgic piece for you, Nancy? All right. What was I thinking doing down the middle of the pink stripe? I gotta go. It is, the zipper does end there, but I'm a little nervous getting close to it because of the, this side has the zipper stop. Look at how thick it is. Can I move that out of the way while I sew it? Ooh, I think I kind of painted myself in a corner there. We're gonna go like this. I was really glued to the idea of being in the middle of that pink stripe without thinking about the bottom of the zipper. I may have to hand sew that. All right, so now I'm just sewing right to the next, like next to my stitches. I'm gonna reach in here and pull the zipper head out of the way. I'm pushing it that way so that it's permanently out of the way now. We won't have to worry about it anymore. I'm not as concerned with plaids matching on this because this is the inside. I'm just trying to make it so that my stitching line doesn't show on the right side, the one I've already stitched the zipper and the facing to. I think she's trying to accomplish pin tucks with the twin needle method. All right, so remember my zipper is folded here. So when I get up here, I don't want to hit one of those teeth. So I'm just gonna hand walk my machine around the teeth. Like that. And now we're gonna pivot. And we're gonna push those teeth, make sure we're not gonna touch those. And here we are on our neckline now, and I'm gonna kind of curve the garment like this into the curve shape so that it stays on the seam line better. We've got a lot of thicknesses going there with the collar and the facing. Are you kidding, Nancy? I can totally picture you wearing those. Like that is, yeah, and anybody, you know? What are you making these days, Nancy? I haven't heard what you've been working on. Unless you're just hanging out. Did I just run out of bobbin? Let's check. This is the paranoid stream. Oh! Who just avoided more sewing drama? Who just jinxed themselves? You heard that too? Yeah. I literally said earlier, I was like, Terry used to always hear my machine right before it would run out. Okay, where were we? Right here. Okay. My blue line compared to my white line is meh. All right, here we're at that coil chain there, or not coil chain, but the teeth of the zipper. So gonna kind of pull it out of the way. Oops, I don't need to go that far. All right, and now, well, actually we do need to go a little bit further than that though. Okay. I always have to change my needle after doing this. Just hand cranking past the zipper teeth. Yeah, well, I'm glad that we can give you some vicariousness then, and I hope the crazy calms down. We just say no to crazy, right? We try to at least. All right, turning corner again. This time will be a lot easier because I don't have the same stop situation as I did on the other side. But I am gonna watch it really closely because I'm really close to it. All right. Yay! Okay. I'm going to trim this corner here. We're going to trim this corner here. Except that I didn't sew it all the way. There's a little hole there. That's okay. We're going to clip our neckline and trim our corner here as well. It's pretty thick. I wonder what other fabrics you could make this little jacket in. I don't really think it needs a lining, but you could line it if you wanted to. If you lined it in like a satin or a, the seam allowance is a little off here, see that? Or like a Bemberg rayon, something slippery. Hi Amanda, how's it going? You are coming in at the home stretch. You missed the drama. Perfect timing. All right, and then we'll cut this corner. Being a little conservative there. All right, now let's turn this right side out and see what we got. This is why you always want to get those threads to the inside because that's what happens. Like these little threads will poke out, you know. I'm really hoping that this does this, but I don't think it will. I knew that putting this in the seam was not a good idea, but I still did it. Okay. Pull. I'm just going to pull on the coiled chain. It just kind of pops the corner better. Here again, see that thread? I knew I couldn't get close to that. It's just the stay stitch, and I can get in there and pull it out from the inside probably. Thanks. I know, this fabric's really fun, isn't it? Everyone's been pretty into it. It's kind of fun. All right. We'll just hand sew the bottom here. Right? Do we see anything suspicious? Got our little facing, really cute. All right, let's do a little bit of pressing. Currently wrapped in heat, but trying to get my, oh. I hope the coziness helps. Okay, let's pop this one out. All right. Here's one of our sewing dramas. We're going to press this seam right here. We're just going to press it really good. I feel like I need to make this again and not a plaid, you know? What other variations could we do to this jacket to give it another look? It's pretty distinctive, so I'm wondering if maybe just keeping it exactly as is would be the ticket, you know? Oh, wow, Amanda. Yeah, that is rough. Okay, get this edge here. All right, so remember how I kind of like waxed poetic or whatever you want to call it about not putting your seam down the middle of a dark line? And I think that this worked out pretty good because you can see that it isn't perfectly straight, but my eye doesn't really go to it like it would, I think, if it were the dark line. The dark line kind of pops out, which is straight. Okay. A little bit of waviness there. Looking cute though. Looking cute. This is a really thick neck seam for this facing. It might end up causing us a little bit of problem to lay nice inside. We will see. Kind of pulling the collar like this so that it's nice and flat and pushing that facing there. I don't want to press too much without it being in the curve though, you know, like that helps it. Good tugs, good tugs. This is supposed to go down though. I think I might have to take this out. It's going to bug me too much. I don't know. I knew that wasn't going to work too, and I was just like, it'll be fine. That's what I told myself, because that's where I want it. Wee. It's not fine. Spoiler alert. You know what we need? We need this guy. Here we go. That's what I need. A lace trim around the collar. Oh yeah. Or just get rid of the collar. Contrasting waistband. That sounds nice, Amanda. I like Peter Pan collars right now. I think you just either love them or hate them. I used to hate them, and now I'm kind of into them. They kind of suit me. But yeah, I almost did that to this, but they were all like, don't change the collar, when I wanted to like make it less pointy. So I was like, they are definitely not going to go for the Peter Pan. Just looking, these threads right here are part of the weave, so I don't want to just yank on them just in case they're going a direction that would put a run in the fabric. So I'm just pulling them out from the inside. Where's this one at? I thought I just pulled that. Oh, there it is, right there. There we go. Let's pull it to the inside. Why is this so high up there? That's what I'm thinking, Terry. I might just do that. On the band, I don't really want I'm not trying to treat it like an under collar, you know? I'd rather just be stacked one on top of the other. Okay. So now we're to this last fun step. So we're going to push this seam in here like this. And we're going to, maybe this is one thing where I could bind this edge, right? I could bind this edge and then just top stitch it down. That actually might look really nice, right? We can push this up like this. Bind this edge with the same binding, and then you could stitch in the ditch from the right side. You could overlock this edge, stitch in the ditch from the right side. What they want you to do, which would give you a nice clean finished look, is turn this under, push it, the folded edge, just past where you sewed, a millimeter is what they recommend, and then stitch in the ditch. I'm here to tell you that's gonna be really, really hard. So at this stage, because of how much trouble I've made this jacket cost me, I'm kind of thinking binding this edge and stitching in the ditch would be a really nice, safe option. It's been a journey. Oh yeah, puffy quilted fabric. I'm about to make a bomber jacket from some quilted fabric next month. That's the other thing I'm doing next month. A Moto style jacket. Did you guys see the new Moto style jacket by Cashmerette? What'd you guys think? It's pretty cute. Yeah, I think so too, Terry. I think binding and stitching in the ditch sound very safe right now. Would I change this seam allowance then? You know? I don't need it to be way up high. Because right here, if I bound right here, the ditch is more like right here. So the binding would kind of be loose. So just to reiterate some of the options. So the instructions will have you turn this under like this, right? And then, you know, you can pin it. And then from this side here, you're going to stitch in the ditch, which means you pull the fabric apart and stitch right here in your stitching, and the stitch line hopefully doesn't show. You might get a little bit of wobbles here and there. And then hopefully you're catching this side here. So that's pretty tricky to do. It's one of the reasons why I was kind of trying to figure out another alternate way to sew this. But I think I'm going to do binding. Oh my gosh, you're still here, May. Have a nice night. Sleep well. Nice seeing you. Oh, I was gonna hem my iron my sleeves so I can hem them. Would I do gray? Yeah. Who do you think I am, Amanda? Yeah, I don't like stitching in the ditch like that either. We are going to press this binding open. I think that's a perfect example of a finish that you see in ready to wear. So you think, oh, I'm supposed to do this in home sewing. When in ready to wear, they have a machine that does it. The whole kit, and, you know, caboodle. I'm pretty sure this is polyester. Like now that I've been like working with it, maybe it's not. But I'm less worried about it shrinking. I don't have the original packaging, so. Is there anything more satisfying? This weird spot right here. Oh, I see. I don't know what's going on there. I wish this had gone a little smoother so that people looking for a tutorial aren't like, what is going on here? May is one of the sweetest people. Like, she is so sweet. All right, we're gonna attach this. Oh. No, it's really hard to do. I mean, if the seam wasn't so puffy from gathers, I'd feel a little better about doing it. But because of the bulkiness of the gathers, it's going to be so hard to get that to lay nice and flat, you know? All right, so we're just going to put some binding down here. Like I said, you could just overlock this too. Okay. Oh, yeah, someone just gave it to me. When they left the area, they had a huge vintage binding collection, and so I was like, binding, sign me up. Then I was like, wait, why did I take this stuff? It's kind of hard to use. All right, I think we're gonna, yeah, we're also gonna have to stitch this down, and then we'll stitch the ditch. So stitching the binding down, or stitching, we're not gonna be able to stitch it down by stitching in the ditch, in other words. Maybe I need to trim this edge too. No, we're not gonna trim this edge. We're gonna trim it down a little bit. We did on the other one too. Let's get better scissors though. Ensure success, right? We want a nice even width here, and we want it to be narrow. Using the rotary knife would actually be a really good call here too. A little easier when I'm sitting at my machine doing this. Okay. Here, we'll use a little air. This can's about to run out. Okay. I forgot to move the computer, so I'm sorry I can't really see chat right now. I'm just pressing it to the other side, just like I did on the facing, single fold style. Might even be better to do this, like pull this out, press it, and then press it to the inside like this. I'll get more. So Terry, that suit jacket you're making, is that going with the vest and the shorts? I think those are shorts, right? This is the whole ensemble, right? This is pretty exciting. That's not your first suit jacket though, right? You've made a few. I feel like you've made a lot of them. Okay. All right, and now we're gonna put all this in here like this and stitch it down. It is gonna sit above the seam and look a little wavy, probably. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Amanda's right. Hand sewing this would look pretty nice. Oh, me too, Leah. I actually love the sound of those particular scissors too. Those were Rayanne's. Mine aren't as good anymore. I still haven't found a good scissor sharpener. So if I'd known I was gonna do this, I probably would have pushed this seam allowance on the jacket up. Wait, no, I would have pushed Oh yeah, on this piece. I would have pushed this piece going up right here when I sewed it to the zipper. Because right now it's pushed down. So it is twisted right here. See that? I don't know if you can tell. It's pushed down here, but I'm pushing it up here. Oh, got it. It would be this one. Oh, okay, cool. Everybody gets a suit in your house. It sounds like something's getting done. I'm going to clip this right here so that it will flip. There we go. That'll lay nice and flat now. Yeah, but the bulk of those gathers, I'm even a little worried about stitching in the ditch here. It looks cute though, the little binding, right? You know? I'll have to send her a picture. I haven't talked to her in a bit. I got her hooked on this computer game called Neko Atsume. Do you guys remember the whole Neko Atsume craze? The collecting cats game? And it was during the Panini. So I was like, she was talking about something. I was like, here, I have something for you. This is exactly what you need. And because she loves cats. And I sent her the link to that game. And I was like, all you do is feed them and put toys out. That's all you do. And then eventually you'll have collected them all. Like you'll track different cats. You know, that's how it is. It's a very simple game. It's got very cheerful music. The cats are hilarious. They do funny things sometimes. It's not, you know, you don't win. And she occasionally, like a month ago, sent me a screenshot, and she just unlocked another cat. I was like, she is taking the organic route and not forcing it, and I love it because I was like, wait, how do I get this cat? Oh, cool. It doesn't, oh, navy is so weird. Navy can be purple, it can be black, you know, like it can look so many different types of blue. Every time I look for navy thread over there, I'm always like, none of these are navy. Even though I know they were labeled as such, but like one's got a lot of purple, one is got like a lot of black in it. And the other one, I can tell is like a yellower. Like if there's one that's purple, one that's yellow. Like one that's warm and one that's cool. Oh yeah, the interior triangle pocket, exactly. I'm really pulling hard here. This weird seam here. It's okay, it's working, but you know. All right, we're gonna clip this one too, so that can push down and this one can push up. Such good details. All right. Oh, I was gonna stitch this binding down. Oh my God, you guys. I'm just too hungry. I've got to stitch this down. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I've got to stitch the binding down. I can't take the risk that the stitching in the ditch will catch it. It just won't in some places, and I will be really upset. So I'm sorry. If you guys have learned anything, you just sometimes got to do the right thing on this project, right? Although you guys let me do the this little patching shortcut, which was great. Okay, we're just going to stitch this binding down. It's too narrow to get caught by being stitched in the ditch from the right side of the jacket. At least this part's quick. Okay, pull this under. What I'm learning is that I should have sewed more on Thursday. That's what I should have done, right? All right, this lays nicer now. A little stretched out. A lot easier to wrangle though. You got this too, Monica. We got this. I have a Zoom this afternoon, so I'm kind of like, Saremy, you need to eat lunch before you do that. Wait, are you talking about this? Because I'm literally wearing my mustard colored slacks today that's going to go with this. That's why I picked it out. So even if you're trying to appeal to my ego or my vanity, I really appreciate it. Like if you knew that and you're just pretending like you didn't, I appreciate this, Amanda. But yeah, see, I'm wearing my mustard pants. My Miriam trousers that I love, that I just need more things to go with. These pins are just terrible. Okay. I could probably use more pins, but we've been here for a minute, man. We're gonna stitch it. We gotta change the thread color. This is not the project I thought I'd be changing thread color on. Do you guys have, like, what's your favorite sewing book? I'm gonna move this up here. I'm curious. Okay, so we need to top stitch around our zipper and the bottom there, so this looks cute though. So I'm going to do the whole thing at the same time. So I'm going to go down the center front, turn a corner. So this is one thing I'm not very good at, is top stitching zippers. So we're going to be really careful of these teeth. Gosh, I don't even know how I'm going to backstitch right there. Could have been a zipper that was worth doing, removing some teeth on, just because it's kind of in the way. I think I'm going to stitch on the, Stripes, man. I think I'm going to stitch right there where the stripe meets, you know. Yeah, sewing techniques, or like more like a sewing Bible. Like your go-to, like if you're really stuck or you want to know how to sew something. Do you guys have a book you refer to? YouTube is your sewing book. Got it. Quilting books. Okay, yeah. Interesting. I have one that I got in college. And it's actually pretty good. I think it's actually pretty basic now. Like, it's not very comprehensive. But it does have a lot of big things in there. Okay, we're to the waistband now. I'm going to turn. There's a lot of jacket here. I'm going to manage it. Put it all on the table. Don't let it drag off. All right, so I'm going to... I have pins on the inside, but I'm just going to make sure that I'm very careful keeping this band nice and flat and all these gathers kind of perpendicular to the seam. And we're going to stitch in the ditch, which means we're stitching in the seam that we've already sewn here. I can't, I gotta look. Well, I can't see yet. I can't see the binding yet. I get so jealous of those people that spend so much time on their sewing projects and they just look like immaculate. And I hear him rushing it on a live stream. Yeah, Leah, that is a really good one. Sewing for Dummies. Oh, you haven't read it? I'm kind of curious about that one. Pants fitting. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I have that one. Oh, okay, see you, Terry. Oh, yeah, the Vogue sewing book I think is actually pretty hard to come by now. I have this really big project I'm working on. And so I decided to buy a bunch of sewing books like that are really comprehensive. And I just got a bunch of them in. And they're really run the gamut of different styles. It's really interesting. Yeah, that's the one I got in the mail most recently, and it's pretty amazing. And I'll tell you why I got them someday, but I'm not telling you now. Right? Exactly, Amanda. I know. I actually know some of those typos because I make the exact same ones. Okay, we're just gonna look. It looks good on the right side. Okay. We take this. Okay, okay. This is fine. Everything's fine. I can feel sometimes the head of the pin is just too close to the seam, so I am getting rid of it before it's a problem. Oh, a serger book. That's that would actually be pretty handy. I saw a couple of those, but they were so dated. They were definitely from an era when sergers were becoming more common with home sewers, and they were just like, okay, I need some help with this. Okay, we're at the juncture of the facing here. I was like, wait, what's going on there? Stitching in the ditch, I actually really like it. It's lately one of the things I really am enjoying doing more of. Okay, we're gonna go turn and go up. right here along the zipper. I didn't mention this earlier, but the other way to put in a zipper would have the fabric meeting right here. That is a lot different technique. I didn't do that today. I did the exposed zipper. I feel like that's a really great one to cut your teeth on. No pun intended. Hi, Jane. How's it going? Nice to see you. Okay, we're here at the top. Let's see if we can backstitch through these teeth. Stop it. Come on, Phoenix. Home stretch. Yeah. Okay. Look at that. Looking good. All right, so this is how it looks. Let's get rid of these pins. I'll take that. What do you think? There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of quilty mayhem going on this jacket. Wait, which one's amazing? Oh, the Reader's Digest book is actually pretty amazing. Oh, I haven't heard of them, Amanda. That's awesome. Oh, nice, Eliza. I'm not writing a book. I will say that. I'm not writing a book. I don't know how to do that. I imagine you have to get asked to write a book. And I've never been asked to write a book, so. Fun size. Well, I don't know about this, Amanda. Wait a minute. Now I'm kind of second guessing this person. Although I would like a fun size Snickers right now. Approximate length of a duck. She sounds very entertaining, or he, or they, I don't know, but they sound very entertaining. I like this. Okay, we don't have the sleeves done. Let's trim this down. We don't have the sleeves. I actually don't know what kind of sleeve finish I would want, but you know what I'm thinking? You know what I'm thinking? I think we should bind it and turn it up. What do you think of that? Sorry, Diane, there's not going to be any binding left for you to share. Oh, I shouldn't have offered, huh? I think Jane is in Great Britain, aren't you, Jane? I can't remember. See you, Aisha. Nice to see you. That's pretty amazing, Amanda. Okay, I'm going to bind the sleeve, and then we're going to hem him. Would you like me to do this off camera though? Because I could try on the jacket and you can get going if you would like. But, oh, I didn't finish really this up here either. I think I would secure this down by stitching the facings in the ditch as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're really hard to find, those old Reader's Digests. The next time we're in a Zoom, I can show you the one I got. I wasn't picky about what edition I got. It is kind of a, you know, slippery slope, Mullen. We know this about me, right? Right now I'm just smoothing out my facing, so I'm just kind of laying the jacket here, smoothing it out, making sure that it's not gonna, you know, pucker. And then I'm thinking that I would stitch in the ditch to secure it. You could stitch around the neckline. That it's an unconventional thing to do, but a lot of people will do that. They'll stitch right here all the way around. You can even start back here if you don't want it to show, right? So that is an option. And maybe I'll think about that. I like it when I know for sure I do not have to worry about my facing flipping out, right? Oh, Australia. Maybe that's it. Okay. See how we got a little puckering here. I was a little worried about this spacing anyway, so if we do this, would that work for the facing? Flippy-do. Look how cute this is, though. I forgot the binding will show when it's just sitting there unzipped. I don't know, Terry. This is going to bug me. But maybe you're right. If I just tack this facing, the label down. Yeah, exactly, Mullen. I was just thinking that. I think I might stitch the collar down like this. It's so thick that I think I will. I haven't done this in a while. So I'm going to start like, you know, back here. And we're just going to secure this through all layers. We'll start like right here. And you kind of want to like pull your collar straight like this. Make sure that you're not like over rotating the seam toward the collar or under rotating it, because you don't want this to blump up like this, right? You don't want the facing to blump up onto the collar. So you want to pull this pretty good. So I'm gonna put my hand underneath. I gotta try that. I did try it on the other day and it felt pretty good, but that is a good point. I can do that again. I was just gonna bind the edge and then fold it up. That's all. That I wasn't going to like bind it and that be the hem, I guess is what I mean to say. I think oh. Ooh, I caught that just in time. That's my label. I think it's the Vogue one that I saw for $80. I was pretty surprised. I was like, I don't want to spend $80 on a sewing book. I did not need these sewing books for me. I wanted to see everything listed in them. That's what I wanted, because I'm kind of curious about something. A little tricky right here because these raglan sleeves come to a point there. Not point, but that's where they come. I'm pulling really hard, by the way. Definitely gonna be a little sore. All right, that looks nice. Nice finish, right? Yeah, that was a good call. I like that. Good call, Saremy. All right, and I'm gonna just bind the sleeves, and I'm not gonna finish them like that. And then I'm gonna turn them up and hem them, but I'm gonna bind the sleeves, and I'm gonna hem or try on the jacket for you guys, and I'll let you go. Okay. Here, watch this. Okay, not okay judgment point. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, Jane. Oh, for fitting. Yeah. Just after 8 a.m. Oh, okay. You're not alone here from Oz. not sure which one mine is. I haven't really gotten a chance to look at it. It arrived when I was leaving. She's got the sewing book, Allison. I haven't used it much, but I think she's an amazing teacher. I took her course at making class and enabled me to make my daughter's strapless sewing. Oh, that's cool. All right. So we're going to turn these sleeves. I'm binding so differently today. I'm just going to fold back the edge here and find the underarm, which is right here. Ooh, this jacket. I'm really into this little jacket. Ooh, this is so narrow right. Oh, okay. It's got a little wrinkle in it. I'm like, it's a little narrow. Yeah, the next time I see you guys in a Zoom, I can show you the one I got. It is pretty cool. I've only just flipped through it so far. I might even sell the books I've gotten eventually in the guild or give them away because I don't really need to keep them if someone can use one. I can't tell if my jacket's right side out or inside. Okay, this is wrong way. I hope I didn't sew my other sleeve. Oh, okay, good. Phew. I can't tell if my jacket's inside out or not because of the flap belt seams. It's pretty obvious though. There's not really an excuse here. You have the OG edition, Marilyn. I would say mine is 90s or 80s. It's probably, I imagine it's early 90s. If you guys are looking for books, by the way, that you want to own, but you don't really need to have the brand new version, I highly recommend thrift books. I buy so many used, well, I don't buy a lot of books, I have to admit. I've been buying them lately, but I buy them there when I'm buying thrift or used books. And if you see one that's not in stock, you can put it on a watch. And I did that recently, and the next day they got one in. And I bought it immediately, and it got it in a few days. I was like, oh, this worked out really good. I was trying to fill my cart, which I didn't need to do. And I told my husband, I'm like, hey, do you need any woodworking books? And he is so excited because he was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about buying used books. And so he got a couple of workshop, woodworking books. All right. I feel like now I'm just detaining you guys. What time is it? I'm hungry. I have leftover Thai food. That's something to look forward to. Okay, let's see. Here's mine. Here, I'll just show you. Libby, are you watching? Let's see. Oh, this is 2001. I was wrong. But it's got everything in here. Pretty cool. Sewing machine, stitches, pattern selection, sizing. colors, buying a pattern, fabrics. We're not even sewing yet. They call this underlying, but I call it underlining. Cutting stuff. You don't need a YouTuber ever again with this book. Pattern alterations. Basic ones though. They're like length and stuff like that. This one has some more advanced things though here. Look at that, the bust there. Okay, I hope you can see that. Is it too bright? Gosh, it's probably too bright. Sorry. I can't see the camera from here. And then you get into sewing and stuff. So, anyway. All right. This jacket did not need any cute details, and I think this binding just put it over the edge. And then I'll just, like, once this is, I figure out what length I want my sleeves, I'll just fold these up and stitch it down. I imagine you could do hand sewing if you wanted. Can I show you? I'm not sure actually. Let's see. My pants are a little big. I decided not to alter them. This isn't a shirt that I can tuck in because it's got this high sides. It's the mellow low. It feels really good. Ooh. Sorry, I thought my microphone's in there. Feels really good. I don't know about with these pants though, not on the camera. What do you think? I think I need to fuss with it a little bit. My pants are a little, like they kind of sag in the front. I'm going to put a new button on it today, I think. What? I don't know. What do you think? I don't know about it on me. Let's see. We'll fold up the sleeve too. I haven't worn something so cropped in forever. It fits nice. This is the large. I'm pretty busty and I have a hip tilt, you know. I feel like I need some high-waisted jeans now, so I can wear this a lot. It's so comfortable. Like I'm not exaggerating. Like it's just like the perfect amount away from my body. This angle is really weird too. Let's look at it more straight on. Yeah, it's more of a straight on look. And I have a shirt that'll go under this, I think, really well. The collar seems kind of stiff. Yeah, I think this is definitely doable. I think it'll look really good with the Mitchell trousers too. And my Mitchell trousers are like a linen color, a linen colored linen, you know, so it seems very wide right here, but it's very blousey. Phew. What an ordeal. Maybe a softer zipper, but I don't know. Right? I think that is exactly it, Leah. I need to do more of that, you know what I mean? Like I've for so long loved things hip length. But yeah. I'm not sure it goes with the braids, but I'm not taking my hair down. Cool. Well, thanks for putting up with my quilty McQuilty madness on this one. I'm going to sew my sleeve hems, which is, I just love that this is done once I do that, you know, like no closures necessary. Zipper went in really nice. How did I like sewing the assembly line? It's fine. I think it was great. Yeah. It all went great. That's funny. You're like the second person to ask me that. Is there some sort of reputation with assembly line patterns that maybe I just don't know about? I've only sewn one other pattern by them, and funnily, I did a lot of binding in that, and it was the V-neck coat, and I didn't get to keep that one. That one lives at Hart's Fabric. I don't remember if anything happened with that, but I bound all the interior seams on that one. So, but someone else on Instagram said, I'm curious to hear what you think about this once you're done. And I'm like, that's interesting. Like with the braids. Braids go good with everything. This is my favorite hairstyle. It's just, I know I could just barely ever pull it off. So, oh, the hoodie dress, right. I've seen that one, Mullen. Yeah, that's a cute dress. I feel like, in my opinion, it's not an insult to say, oh, I think that person could be over the age of 50, because I'm thinking of this qualifying for the Sew Over Ageism challenge for Sew Over 50. And, but I know other people think that would be, but I don't. Obviously, I'm over 50. So, but I feel like it might. So it might qualify. Oh, it's Swedish. Yeah, exactly. I just ordered something from Sweden. Ordered my binding and my cover stitch binding foot. This fits good. Like, it fits me really good. Looking at the collar and the way it lays. I think this fabric looks, it just looks really good in person too. Well, thanks you guys. Sorry I had some stops and starts, but you know how it is. You don't you? All right, so one piece comes up wider than the other. It happens if anyone figures out the mystery. Please share. Wait, oh, what are you talking about, Jane? What happened? Wait, I'm gonna scroll back. One piece comes up wider than the other. On what? Oh, do you mean on my band? No, that was me. I did that on accident. That was my fault. If that's what you mean on the waistband, it was fine. Their pattern is, it's the exact same pattern piece for the inside and the outside. Like that was totally a cutting error. So next week, I'm not streaming, but the following week, I'm drafting the pin tuck blouse. Let me see if I can find the fabric, Leah. I can't remember if I set it aside. Let's see. No, that's not it. I'm thinking it's this one. Or is it this one? It's going to be a linen. I know I want it also in white, but it might be, it's one of these two probably. So it's not like putting together IKEA furniture. I don't know if I could compare that. This is a really lightweight linen. It's actually pretty see-through, see that? I need a white shirt, but it's probably gonna be this. This is probably what it is, Leah. It's kind of this denim, lightweight linen. So, but you can sew yours in whatever. All right, I'll see you guys in like a week and a half if you're here for the live streams. And if you're interested in becoming an apprentice group member in my guild, it's like the entry-level group. It's gonna have a new benefit soon where I'm gonna be fitting something once a month. And the other thing it includes, besides access to the guild, is Pattern Chatter, which is a monthly show as well, where we review all newly released patterns, which is really fun. It's a really fun show. So if you're interested in supporting me that way, that's great. And you can find it at sosoguild.com. You don't even have to put www. Otherwise, thanks for coming. Have a great weekend. And I will see you guys soon, some of you sooner. So thanks for being here. Bye. I look just like that cover model, don't I?